This is Greg Orloff, and I am here today with Janine Charlton. Janine is the Senior Vice President and Chief Technology Officer of an organization called Merchants Fleet. Welcome, Janine.
Thank you, Greg.
Why don't we kick things off a little bit and talk to me about what is Merchants Fleet? Because the name is probably a little bit into the name of what you folks do, but I know not many people may understand that or be familiar with your organization.
Sounds good. So I'll start by saying Merchants Fleet enables the movement of people, goods, and services freely and responsibly. That's our vision for the company. Really, for more than 60 years, Merchants has been providing highly customized fleet management and fleet leasing solutions to large businesses, mid-sized companies, governments, educational institutions, and many more. Right? We really help to connect businesses with service, technology, and products that our clients need to stay agile and poised to grow. And we're really proud that we get to develop, deliver, and manage the best-in-class fleet solutions using a collaborative approach so that our clients get exactly what they need, really when they need it.
Excellent. Well, thank you for the overview. I know a lot of times people don't think about, large fleets of vehicles within organizations. They just take it for granted, whether it's in-house in a warehouse or it's on the roads or what have you.
Exactly.
So from our perspective, we're focused on the digital transformation, the digital transition right now, Industry 4.0, things along those lines. So how has digital transformation had an impact on the fleet industry, or has it yet?
Yeah, it actually has, right? It really began years ago with what we refer to as incremental autonomy, which is essentially anything that automates driving. It could improve driver safety. It really allowed for more efficient fuel spending, which is a big deal, right? Additionally, things like cruise control, lane sensor, change sensors, right? And efficiency routing for things like GPS were really kind of the start of the transformation process. And it's really just going to continue to grow from here. When you think about EVs, right, that has really propelled the technology forward. And I think we're going to continue to see it flourish over the next 5 to 10 years as fleet managers. EVs, if you think about that, right, are really going to kind of propel this technology forward. And I think we're going to continue to see that flourish, particularly over the next 5 to 10 years as fleet managers really move towards managing driverless networks. And I think the infrastructure and the insights needed to manage autonomous driverless networks are really in development. And I think we're just kind of at the tip of the iceberg, right? I think as we continue to experiencing managing some of the world's largest EV fleets, we're really in a great position, I think, to define what's going to be required to move to the next phase of the market when full driverless networks begin to come online. I think in anticipation of that too, we've really got a team of engineers and data scientists that are working specifically to build out those key operational capabilities, which is really exciting for our folks here at Merchants. They get to be a part of really building a lot of this with new technology.
So where would you judge, and this is kind of a hip shot, where is that transition at right now from the fleet standpoint, just even on electrification? I mean, are you 2% electrified now? Are you half? Or is it depend on the clients? You can just give some
It really is dependent on the clients. And I would say we're very early in the journey. And we've found that we're spending a lot of time partnering with our clients around really what's the total cost of ownership, right? Because what's unknown today is what's the residual value of an EV vehicle going to be when that thing's getting towards the end of its life. So there's a lot of unknowns. And so helping them to truly understand really what that means, I think, is one critical component. The other key thing is helping them understand the infrastructure and the charging that's going to be required, right? This is, again, an unknown. You're not just going to drive up to a gas station and, fuel up and be on your way in 10 to 15 minutes. So how is all of that going to work? And then I would say the third thing that's critically important that we're partnering with them on is the type of vehicle that they're going to need to service, right, their respective clients. And just partnering with, the OEMs and just a lot of the new emerging OEMs, right, that are coming to be in this space as well. So acquisition of vehicles, availability of vehicles is playing a key role in this as well.
And you just made me think of another perspective on this also. I mean, it's the whole I would call it the maintenance side of the industry as well, whether it's a fleet vehicle or just a standard vehicle. I mean, what's merchant fleets, or even just from a larger macroscopic perspective, what's your take on that? Because as you're transitioning from ICE types of transportation to EVs, it's going to take slightly different skill sets.
It's going to take a different skill set, right? And, having the right partner, and we believe Merchants Fleet is well positioned for this, right? Really turning it over to a company like ours where we've got that expertise and can continue to advise our clients in the right way so that they can make good, sound financial decisions, as well as decisions that are, from a maintenance perspective, are going to continue to drive safety, right, on behalf of the driver across their entire fleet, which in turn is really going to drive cost savings as well. So I think it's staying very close to the OEMs and having the right expertise to properly advise our clients on this journey. And we're very early in the journey.
I think we're not even on the starting increasing slope of the hockey stick.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's got to be a rocky road, or not without problems and issues and things to overcome. Anything you could share with us about an OT related or an IoT related challenge that you faced as you're walking through this transition?
I would say that there's a couple, right? And from my perspective, I'm continually looking for ways to kind of leverage technology, right, to help drive digitization, right, across the enterprise. And so there's a couple of things, right, from a technology point of view, and perhaps a couple of examples that I could cite. One clearly is around artificial intelligence, right? And how is that going to continue to be applied? And I would say very thoughtfully and responsibly applied, right? Because I think there's a lot to that as well. But we're constantly looking for new ways. And we've recently used an AI-based condition assessment technology that really helps to drive value for some of our largest clients across the country. And we use it to actually streamline how we onboard and offboard vehicles kind of through that life cycle, particularly in our mobility side of the business, where those engagements in terms of vehicle usage tend to be more short-term in nature. So that becomes critically important, right? How do we streamline that process? I think AI-driven, management systems will continue to play a huge role in enhancing driver safety as well. And if you think about just the number of people, right, that unfortunately die on the road every year, I think it's north of 1 million people a year. This is a critically important issue to pay attention to. So features like enhanced lane deviation safety technology being implemented by automakers, I think will play a really big role. And then driverless cars, I think, are going to kind of push this to the next level as well, right? And it's kind of interesting if you even think about what that means down the road, but a lot of the advanced safety features like road sign recognition, auto braking, and much more, I think, are going to continue to play a really big role in safety of passengers. But I think we're all going to have to get comfortable with that too, right? Because when you just think about driverless cars and the fact that, are we really ready to relinquish control? But if you think about the safety aspect of it, like, I think we'll get there, but there's some hurdles I think that all of us are going to have to kind of overcome as well.
I would not disagree.
Yeah. I think also autonomous vehicle technology is going to be another one to pay attention to. I think businesses are realizing, again, back to the safety benefits of like early stage automated features in the vehicles. Connected technology is already beginning to unlock a wealth of data about how vehicles can be used more efficiently. And it's something that, we're investing quite a bit in as well, just given the benefits that that's going to bring to our clients. And then I think the last one, and this has been around for a while, but I think it's one that will be critically important too, is just robotic process automation, right? Just looking for not just how vehicles can reap the benefits of automation through RPA, but keeping a close eye on just how you automate workflows that help generate cost savings, and I think will drive even deeper insights that our clients will be able to take advantage of as well.
That's
So
gonna be interesting.
those are a
Yeah.
few. Yeah.
No, it'd be interesting to watch all of those unfold. And thank you for sharing some of the speed bumps that you've encountered too. I read an article that you wrote. It was in Fast Company, and you were talking about the concept of digital dexterity.
Yeah.
So in terms of the workforce and just this collaboration, what is that, and why do you feel it's important?
Yeah, thank you for asking that question. So from my perspective, this is really about the world that we live in, right, as a result of COVID, and, many companies being in kind of this fully remote or hybrid model. It's really making sure that we're taking advantage of the, multitude of technologies, right, that have been out there, and that have currently, I think, kind of come to the forefront as a result of it. From my perspective, I would define it as really having the ability to take advantage of all the technology, right, that your business has access to, and really staying open to any new emerging tools that can really help your company become a better company. I think it's really important to take steps towards digital dexterity that are really aligned with your company's needs. And I would say look for pockets of opportunity that can really have long-term impacts as well. So I think a couple of really kind of key components that I think are good kind of best practices are for companies to create an environment where employees, they're encouraged to keep an open mind about new technologies, and really keep an open mind to that, right? There's no amount of training that's going to allow them to achieve this. It's really culturally the company kind of setting kind of the right expectations, and I think people having the right mindset around it. And then also I would say make sure that in order to really position employees to be successful, that you're giving them the right training as well to adapt to a lot of these new and emerging technologies, and just allow people to be kind of creative and maybe even have some fun with it along the way as well.
No, good perspective. Yeah, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
We live in such a accelerating rate of changing world today's day and age. It's mind-boggling at times. I mean, what mega trends are shaping up for this year that you're watching through your crystal ball?
That's a really interesting one, because there's so many, right? And I think people can easily get distracted, I think, as a result of like those trends as well. I think for me, it kind of goes back to what we talked about even on the IoT, right? It's like continuing to lean into things like artificial intelligence, as an example, is one that we'll continue to keep a close eye on. It's interesting because the one new technology that we implemented is reaping benefits, meaning there's other kind of new use cases that are coming to be as a result of that. And so I think that kind of speaks to how do you take something and have an open mindset around, being able to innovate and come up with other applicability to kind of take advantage of that as well. I think, the other one that I would say kind of goes back to electric vehicles. And I think that's a mega trend, that's really coming more to light in the States, right? If you think about Europe, and they're farther along, I think, in that journey, right? But I think it's here, and it's not going away now in the States. And so we want to make sure that we're on the forefront of that. So that's one that we're paying a lot of attention to, that we're going to continue to invest a lot of money in, because it's really going to reap benefits, I think, for society as a whole, right? When you think about really what that's going to mean. But for us, it's really more about how do we help our clients reap the benefit of that along that journey as well. So I would say those are kind of two of the big ones for us. There's many out there, like you said, and we don't want to get too distracted either by kind of the next shiny object that's out there.
Sure. No, it's important to keep a focus on what's relevant to your universe.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, you've had an incredible career span. I mean, is there any one piece or of advice that helped guide you along your way in your career that you'd want to share with folks?
Yeah, this one is an easy one for me, and it's one that Greg, have a lot of passion around. And it very early on in my career, right, I was surrounded by some terrific leaders who provided me with, I think, some exceptional mentorship. And that really helped to kind of shape who I am as a leader very early on in my career. And so I am forever grateful to those individuals. And I think from that point forward, I committed to myself that I too wanted to become a mentor to other individuals, right, young in their career. And I've developed extreme passion around mentoring because I've seen the benefits that that's provided me. So for close to 25 years now, I've been mentoring always for the companies that I've been employed with internally, but even on a more formal basis, I mentor with an organization called Mentium, which provides global leadership opportunities to individuals across all industries. And so I've been doing that for a number of years, as well as next generation leaders. So I have extreme passion. I've seen what it can do for people. And for me, I get such satisfaction on seeing the results of, providing individuals with mentorship and what that can do for them.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. I mean, it's being able to guide someone and help someone avoid those speed bumps we may have alluded to earlier.
Yeah.
Profit by your wisdom and profit by your experience. So congratulations on that. That's a great mission. And thank you for joining us today. Appreciate the insights and everything that you shared.
I enjoyed our conversation, and I appreciate having the opportunity to speak with you.